Welcome to this transformative webinar, our 7-step cellular detox to become more alkaline, less acidic. I'm Fidelis Noka II. I'm your hosting guide today, and I'll be sharing with you today a step-by-step blueprint to cleanse your body, to restore balance, and to unlock unlimited energy without the use of medications, restrictive diets, or exhausting workouts. Now, if you've ever felt tired, foggy, inflamed, or kind of like something's off inside of your body, right? Then this training is for you. Over the next hour, I'll show you how to reset your system naturally so you can feel lighter, think clearer, and perform at your highest potential. Okay, so here's what you're gonna learn today. First, how to eliminate inflammation and increase blood flow. Then, we'll show you the secret to deep cellular hydration for optimal detoxification. Then we'll show you how to optimize your sexual potency and orgasmic potency to enjoy sexual energy exchanges, why your subconscious mind controls your health and how to reprogram it, and lastly, how to unlock your energy, your flexibility, mobility, muscle growth, and mental clarity. All right, now by the end of this webinar, I expect you guys to have the exact steps to reset your body and mind so you can start seeing changes immediately. Let's get into step number 1. Now, the goal for you before anything is to dissolve inflammation and enhance your blood flow. Why is this important? The first reason why this is important is because inflammation is at the root of most diseases. And once you have an inflamed system inside your body, preferably it's going to start in the gut, because that's usually where the cause of all diseases start. It starts inside your gut. What happens to your gut lining is because once it gets inflamed, all of a sudden your gut microbiome starts to attack itself, starts to attack you. And then you have an oversecretion of mucus. This is in response to the inflammation. And the best way to combat this is not with medication, not with traditional things like aspirin and Advil and Tylenol. It's actually with grounding. Now, the earth itself has an unlimited supply of electrons. These electrons neutralize inflammation inside your body. So when you walk barefoot, lay on the grass, or even touch a tree, you're absorbing these electrons, allowing your body to return to a natural, healed state. What happens whenever you have this healed state is you obviously reduce pain, you obviously improve circulation, and you reduce stress, and you improve your sleep. What people don't actually connect whenever you're disconnected from nature is your immune system becomes confused. And so grounding is one of those fastest ways to rebalance and to heal at the cellular level. So people talk about their root chakra all the time, but they forget that their root chakra starts at the ankles and then the knees and then the genitals. It's not just at the genital area where people usually traditionally say 7 chakras, this is where your root starts. No, your root begins down in the area of your feet. So your feet are very important. You can see when you go for a massage how powerful reflexology is just in going to massage the areas and create circulation in your feet automatically enhances pain reduction and reduce inflammation to the rest of the entire body. So the benefits of grounding are so powerful, but what happens is many people don't do it for long enough. Yeah, you can go outside and touch a tree for some seconds, but what you must understand is that it's like being in quicksand for your cells if you don't ground. Because what happens to your cells is all of a sudden it gets stuck together. Your cells begin to not move. They're supposed to be like bumper cars and constantly moving, constantly bouncing off of each other. And this creates buoyancy, allowing the oxygen to pass through in between those cells. If you don't create the environment where there's openings and there's spaces for the oxygen to pass through, your body does not actually have that circulation. So starting off the process easily, just by taking off your shoes every morning, going outside to ground yourself, going outside to find some form of nature is powerful. And if you don't have access to that, if you don't have access to a natural way of going outside and going to the grass or going to the sand on the beach or just going to the mountain or anywhere outside that you can go to put your feet on, what you can do is to supplement this, purchase a grounding cord. Now, every house that I know in America that's been blessed with electricity inside has a 3-pronged outlet. The circular prong inside of your electrical outlet is actually for a grounding cord. What you do then is you purchase a grounding cord, usually they're about $10 on average on Amazon.com. You can go to order one right now today. And what you can do then is order a wrist strap or a grounding mat. And you plug it in, literally, you plug in the actual grounding cord to the mat or to the wrist strap. Preferably you would get a wrist strap because the wrist straps are elastic. They can stay with you while you sleep. Put it on your wrist, put it on your ankle while you're sleeping, and all of a sudden you have the same capacity for grounding that you would have if you went outside. This is why this is so powerful. So all of a sudden, overnight, you're enhancing your blood flow. And this is why your circulation starts to move and you get a good restful sleep while you're resetting your body and your mind. You're gonna see the changes immediately. Preferably overnight, you will see the changes. Once you wake up in the morning, you will see that your skin is going to get tighter. You'll see that your waking state, you'll have more energy because you've actually gotten into a lower brainwave state and you got deep restful sleep instead of actually racing through the process if that's what you were doing prior. So step number 1, again, is grounding. This is one of the fastest ways to rebalance and to heal yourself and ground yourself at the cellular level. Let's go step number 2. You're going to rehydrate your body with negative ORP water. Why is this important? Well, this is also important because the water is carrying the oxygen all throughout your entire body. And if you did not know, now you do know that dehydration is the cause of actual stress. When your body is dehydrated and does not know it has the capacity to have enough water, all of a sudden it sends all of the water reserves inside your body to the brain. Why is that? Because the brain is the most important in terms of rationing your water intake. The brain gets 18 to 20% of all the water that goes into your body, and your water is held under the 5th vertebrae in your spine. So this is why your solar plexus is so important, why what you're taking in is so important, and why you have to understand that as you get older and as you age, you begin to dilute yourself at a faster rate. So the secret to deep cellular hydration for optimal detoxification is for you to change up your water. And most people are chronically dehydrated. They don't even know it. But the solution is not just drinking more water. Okay, so here, I have to actually make sure to specify this. Drinking more water is not going to actually solve the problem because what happens is you then overflow the cells and you start bathing the cells in the water, but cells are naturally supposed to reject water. They're only supposed to allow it in at certain times. Naturally, they're supposed to be against hydration because if you flood the cells out, then they no longer work. It's like short circuiting. So what happens is if you go to a grocery store and pick up alkaline water, you may see 9.5 pH plus, 8.8 pH plus. But the issue is that this water is oxidizing. You want water that has an oxidation reduction potential to it. And the reason why is because the less oxidizing this water is, the more anti-oxidizing potential this water has. So we include for you a Kangen water ionizer in our detoxification program, which provides negatively charged ORP water that hydrates your body at the cellular level. And this ORP is around negative 600 or more. If you do not have the capacity to purchase the program and get a Kangen water ionizer, what you can do is supplement this with the water from freshpure.com. Freshpure.com is that's actually the website's called, but the water from FreshPure. Now, FreshPure is a company that provides you with a negative 219 ORP, which stands for oxidation reduction potential, and it measures how well the water can detoxify your cells. So, if you realize this, as you were born, your body was over 75% water. Now, as you age, that number drops. Often this number drops because we're constantly consuming dehydrated substances like coffee, alcohol, tea, soda, juice, and other processed things and processed foods. The key is to rehydrate at the deepest level to restore your body's natural energy flow. So again, we include a Kangen water ionizer in our program, which provides negatively charged ORP water that hydrates at the cellular level. So what you need to do is understand that all the water on the grocery store shelves is actually dead water. And what do I mean by dead water? Everything alive, everything around you is conscious and is alive. That means everything around you is vibrating, including the water. And water is what holds memory. You can understand this by a human being has water, it's made up of mostly water, and we have memories, as do animals, as do plants. Everything around you is conscious and it can hold memory. Water being the most and can hold the most memory of all substances. It's also the most powerful. So, to follow up with grounding, what happens once you begin step number 1 of grounding and moving the energy through your body, through your blood, because your blood is mostly predominantly water, and you give it the actual water that it needs to become hydrated, your cells now can accept this water at the cellular level, and you need to also be drinking this water so the cells can get bathed from the inside and then also from the outside environment, meaning your blood's going to be hydrated, less acidic, more alkaline, and the grounding that's going to be moving the oxygen throughout your entire body is also going to hydrate the cells and the inside on the cellular level. So, step number 2 is to rehydrate your body with negative ORP water. This is the substitute for people who drink bottled water, which is very dehydrating. Too much juice. I used to be an athlete, so drinking Gatorade and Powerade and different substances that they say give you electrolytes, they also strip away the water intake from your body. So be careful when you see people promising you hydration and energy and all of these different things, because if you're an athlete and you're cramping, that means that you were dehydrated hours ago. You weren't dehydrated when you just started playing. No, you were dehydrated before you started playing, and you just didn't know that because you're chronically dehydrated. So the majority of athletes, many athletes, are actually the most unhealthy beings on this entire planet because of the substances that they put into their body, and they're so chemicalized now, it's almost as if their inner environment is so acidic, they can't even tell the difference between feeling good and feeling bad because they're always hurting, because they're always in pain, or because they're always in discomfort and inflammation. So, step number 2 again, rehydrate your body with negative ORP water. That is how we are going to deeply hydrate the cells for optimal detoxification. Step number 3. Here we go with restoring mineral deficiencies with bioelectric food. Now, the reason why many people have such mineral deficiencies is because they eat the same things over and over and over again, and they never actually give their bodies what they need to perform at the maximum potential that they can actually perform. So, many people have iron deficiencies, calcium deficiencies, zinc deficiencies, magnesium deficiencies, iodine deficiencies. There's so many deficiencies that people have that they don't even understand what these deficiencies can cause them or what these deficiencies can do. So, for example, a magnesium deficiency causes sleep difficulties. It causes muscle spasms, pain, anxiety, infertility, PMS, headache, and fatigue, and depression. Just a deficiency of magnesium. Also calcium. You have brittle nails, dry skin, high blood pressure, tingling in your fingers, chronic itching, teeth decay, and you're just lethargic. You don't have any energy. An iodine deficiency, low body temperature. You have spoon-like or weak nails, weakness, fatigue, a swollen or a sore tongue, cold hands and feet, and pale skin. That's iodine. How about a zinc deficiency? Acne, rashes, thinning hair, diarrhea, allergies, weak immunity. Zinc is also very big in terms of sexual energy. So you'll see many people who have issues with the prostate or erectile dysfunction or the libido. They also have a zinc deficiency. Selenium, slow wound healing. This also is drastically changed and healed from grounding. It's slow wound healing. I'll get to that in a little bit as well. Your low immune system, memory problems, slow metabolism, hair loss, dry hair, and infertility. Again. And let's talk about potassium. You have abdominal, bloating, cramps, heart palpitations, nausea, vomiting, ringing in ears, feeling dizzy, and constipation. These are just some examples of prime mineral deficiencies that people have that show up in their bodies all the time. They're very, very common. And what people don't understand is that you're supposed to get these deficiencies rectified through the food that you eat. Everyone has to take in a certain amount of cellular salt, and the cell salts are released from the food. So people think about food and people think about calories or protein. If you go up to somebody and you say, oh, I'm plant-based, and they'll look at you and they'll say, plant-based? What does that mean? Like, well, where do you get your protein? But they don't actually understand that all protein comes from plants. And all proteins are what form the DNA in a double helix. If you understand electrical energy, that's all food really is. Food is really about electrical energy. It's not about calories, which is the measurement of heat. It's also not about protein, because protein is branched-chain amino acids that make up the DNA. So you already have protein. People don't optimize one that they already have. They just constantly go and think that they got to put in more. And more is better. But more is not better. In this case, optimization is better. So every food that you eat and take in vibrates at a specific frequency. And the more acidic the food that you eat, the less energy it carries. When you eat higher frequency foods like fresh fruits, leafy greens, even things like marine vegetables like sea moss or kelp noodles, you literally charge your body like a battery. And you must understand that you are a human battery. So you have to take in foods that provide you with the electrolytes that you're looking for to charge your human battery. You have a cathode, like on the top of a battery, an anode on the bottom of the battery. And what that does for you is it literally provides the energy for you to go on throughout your entire day. So, if you are not understanding why acidic foods are so bad for you, it's because you don't look at yourself like a phone, like the car. You have to have energy in your phone in order for your phone to work. People are working all day long in low power mode, and they have no idea that they're even in low power mode until it's too late. So what our program does for you is teaches you how to eat biologic foods that replenish your minerals, alkalize your blood, and give you natural energy without stimulants. And this is powerful information because if you know how to eat and you know why to eat, not only how to eat, but why to eat. If you understand that you're an energetic being, in order to increase your energy, you must consume things that give you this energy. So here's a couple of tips to enhance your energy body. The higher the quantity of angstroms. What is angstroms? Angstroms is a measure of wavelength. So when people say angstroms, they are talking about the measurement of wavelength. And why is this important? Because everything goes off of vibratory waves, even sound. Sound is spherical. And on the inside of a spherical bubble of sound is a wave. Your goal is to go towards constructive interference in everything that you do, not destructive interference. What does this mean? Constructive interference means that whenever you entangle yourself with another being, another place, another environment, another thing, that this energy that you are now entangling yourself with lights you up. And it now provides you with an excitation of your original wave. So when you eat something that makes you feel bad, it's actually draining your energy, therefore draining your life force. That's destructive interference. If you are going around people that make you feel bad, it's also destructive interference. So the higher the quantity of angstroms the food gives off, the higher the energy of the food. This was measured based off of Accelerator photography. What they did was they put food in front of a stand and they basically used Accelerator photography camera to see the photonic emissions that were leaving the food. Basically it's like glowing in the dark. And you can see just how radiant this food is. So you're a child of the sun, meaning you need to eat the sun in order to get energy. So when you eat fresh, organic, uncooked, and unprocessed foods, the high electromagnetic energy of that food is transferred to your body and its cells. All of a sudden, your cells, who do everything that you do, there is 50 trillion of them, and they work in unison, and they do everything that you do. Your cells have sex, your cells poop, your cells pee, your cells eat. All of the things that you do as a person, your cells also do. So you need to transfer what you do to your cells. Now, instead of looking at diet, at nutrition, in terms of calories and protein and carbs, we teach you how to view it in terms of angstroms. Very, very simple. We say you're a battery, you need to eat the things with the most energy, and you then have more energy. So our true sustenance is the life force of the food itself, and the foods with the most intense life-enhancing energy are those that come from plants and trees. So one of the laws of physics in the universe is that the law of balance, homeostasis, means that once you get into homeostasis, all of a sudden you leave fight or flight and stress and you go back into growth and repair. You want to be in growth and repair. I'm not saying that you're never ever going to be in stress, but I'm saying that your goal is to be in growth and repair. The low energy of some foods will lower your systemic energy, creating hypoactive or underactive tissue. And then this compromises the solar plexus, the gut, and this causes you to lower your immune system and get sick. So the more energetic the foods that you eat, the more vibrant and healthy you become. As we increase the energy of our physical body, we are also lifted up emotionally and consciously. This means that your consciousness is a direct effect of the diet that you actually consume. So you eat high vibrational food, you become a high vibrational person, you then have a heightened level of awareness, and therefore this is what raises your consciousness. People who eat processed junk food, people who eat acidic, animalistic, dairy, and other things that keep them at a low energy state don't have a heightened level of consciousness. If you drink alcohol, if you smoke, if you have addictions to things that do not serve you energetically, you stay stuck in a low vibrational state. So having a great pH balance for your cells, which is 7.35 to 7.55, is the most efficient for your body because your body is a community of cells. So a person in great health, right, should have a vibration of at least 6,500 angstroms of energy. I'll repeat. If a person who is in great health should have a vibration of at least 6,500 angstroms of energy. Now, this is what happens when your body goes from acidic to alkaline. So, once you become a person that basically lowers yourself to bad food, all of a sudden, you can't seem to get out of the rut that you're in. You may have things energetically, you may have things physically, you may have matter, material, wealth, but because you don't have any health, you technically don't have any wealth at all. So diet does not mean only food, it's your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions, and your perceptions, as well as food. and the water that regulate your body's charge for optimum performance. And what people don't really know is that the U.S. history of the government has attempted to regulate the intake of what people eat for optimum health. Your government has, for years, attempted to tell you what is healthy, what is not healthy, what is good, what is bad. And what this has done is it's basically caused everyone to fold from listening to their own intuition. And now the majority of people in this country are actually overweight, underperforming energetically, and they are sick. So it's all connected. So when you consume anything, how something is processed and made, it comes to you, and the energies that were all around it, it all matters. So this is the concept of why you need to change your diet. Your body is made up of protein already. You already have protein, and all the proteins come from plants. So step number 3, again, is how to eat biologic foods that replenish your minerals, alkalize your blood, give you natural energy without the stimulants. All right, let's go to step number 4. Now, this is where you're going to start to unlock your subconscious mind that controls your health and how to reprogram it. Step number 4 is how to cleanse your brain. This is using our herbal formulas, awaken and replenish. What happens to a person is they don't understand the lymphatic system is the system of the blood that cleans the blood, but in your brain, it has its own detoxification system. It's called the glymphatic system, and it flushes out toxins while you sleep. But if your body's lymphatic system is already backed up, your brain detox slows down as well. So this is why you're included in your program our awaken and replenish herbal formulas to support deep detoxification and mental clarity. Now, what does this do? So, think about this. When your brain is clean, you think sharper, you sleep deeper, and you wake up with more energy. 100%. Now, if you understand that your brain is pretty much the key to actually functioning properly in your waking state, you've got to look at what you're putting in and are you getting it out? Because this is what typically people have brain fog from. They hold tension in their forehead area, in between the eyes, in the third eye area, and also in the crown. And the reason is because they're treating their brain like a sewer system. So there's 2 systems. First off, the lymphatic system, and we'll show how the lymphatic system also connects to the lymphatic system. The body's sewer system disposes of waste from the trillions of cells that make up the person you call yourself. This is how your body's lymphatic system cleans you up. Mucus hypersecretion, overproduction, is the result of an acidic environment within the body, and blockages in your lymphatic system cause inflammation, causes acidic pain, and a decrease in immunity. So kidney filtration is essential in optimizing the lymphatic system's performance. You'll see that people who have cancer, people that have autoimmune disease, they're very, very congested and full of mucus. So consuming a mental diet of unconditional love, abundance, realization, and gratitude, and a food diet of raw living foods, fruits, and vegetables will alkalize and purify your body. And also, what this does is it turns on the body's lymphatic system to help you to get rid of waste. But also, one more thing that you need to know is that you need to move in order to activate this lymphatic system. Exercise is essential. If you do not exercise and do not find a way to strengthen your body based on resistance-based training, I'm not saying you got to go pick up 1,000 pounds, but you do need to find a way to put your body under some good stress, which is resistance exercise in the gym, or just picking yourself up with calisthenics. But having a program where you do it consistently helps to move the lymph throughout your entire body. So, lymphatic fluid movement supports critical functions throughout the entire body, including the clearance of excess fluid and metabolic waste and regulating tissue immunity. What happens is when your lymph gets pumped throughout your entire body, it cycles through and it keeps on going from down up, and it keeps on filtering itself out putting the minerals that you need back and getting rid of the things that you don't need in terms of waste. This then gets transferred to the digestive system, and once you digest all these things out, it gets flushed out based on the small intestine and large intestine. And this is where you have liver and kidneys, and the rest of your lymphatic system functions to help you to clear out waste. So, tissues lacking traditional lymphatic capillaries develop alternative means of waste clearance. And so this is where you have a Slim's canal and a lymphatic clearance system. So blood capillaries provide a constant influx of plasma, which percolates around the cells, dispersing nutrients and removing waste products. How important is plasma? Plasma is 55% of your blood. And what plasma is, in this case, you're going to learn within the next couple of years, I'm sure, they're already doing studies on this, that plasma is like the film strip to your actual mind movie. The way that you perceive and your perspective on the actual waking state that you're walking around in is due to the quality of your blood plasma. If you realize that your blood plasma is tainted or is toxic or is acidic, then your outer world should mimic that blood plasma. If you think about everything that you've gone through in terms of holding on to emotion, holding on to different feelings and thoughts, once this plasma now gets, I'll say, tainted with bad things, it needs to be cleaned. This is how you see people who develop these huge obesity rates and they're hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and they've been spiraling out of control, and they cannot stop their mind from basically eating them alive. And what happens to those people is they have such a blockage in the lymphatic system that now it causes a backup in the lymphatic system function. So the lymphatic system is a recently discovered macroscopic waste clearance system that utilizes a unique system of perivascular channels. Now it's formed by what's called astroglial cells to promote efficient elimination of soluble proteins and metabolites from the CNS, which is AKA central nervous system. Its functions help distribute non-waste compounds such as glucose, lipids, amino acids, and neurotransmitters related to volume transmission in the brain. The lymphatic system functions mainly during sleep and is largely disengaged during wakefulness. So when you're awake and you're in a different brainwave state, like beta, it doesn't really function that much. What happens is you have to actually be connected to your subconscious, and subconscious is everything around you. Subconscious surrounds you. It's not actually just under your conscious mind, it's actually larger. That's 95% of your waking state. 5% of your waking state is your conscious mind. So if your glymph is functioning mainly during sleep and is largely disengaged during wakefulness, you need to understand that you need to get some sleep, quality rest, or to turn this function on. Now, recent studies indicate that the lymphatic function is suppressed in various autoimmune diseases. And this is mainly because people are living in fight or flight and not in growth and repair. You see, you have two systems in your ANS, autonomic nervous system, parasympathetic and sympathetic. You need to not be in sympathetic because what happens to that is that stress and fight or flight. You need to move yourself back to parasympathetic. And once you get into that system, all of a sudden you're back in growth and repair. But this is all stemming from perspective and perception, what you believe, because there's biology in what you believe. So it is known that the failure of lymphatic function contributes to pathology and neurodegenerative disorders, traumatic brain injuries, and also strokes. This is basically whenever you have the whole side of your body that just goes offline. Because people are so stuck in that hemisphere, they have got to unite themselves with the left and the right. You can't live in one side of your brain the entire time. You've got to have both in harmony and in unison. When you can get rid of this metabolic waste, when you can get rid of these toxins that you've basically kept inside of your system, these mineral deficiencies that you realize cause a lot of headache, fatigue, and feeling weak immunity because all of a sudden these mineral deficiencies are attacking the brain. You need to fill these deficiencies up. And this is where we provide you with our herbal formulas, Awaken and Replenish, that do this process for you. The goal of Awaken and Replenish, both what these things do for you is they provide you with the things that are missing. And this is how you will get back into 100% of brain function. And how I came up with these processes was when I first started my journey of purification, I encountered a really big challenge. I was trying to harness and transform my sexual energy to power and strengthen my brain. I just finished reading Think and Grow Rich, and Napoleon Hill has a chapter talking about sexual transmutation of energy. And I was thinking, how can I do this where I can keep this energy, but I can use it for ideas, I can use it for discipline, and I can use it to create things. What happens with this powerful force is if it's often overlooked, it can either hinder our imagination and connection to others, or it can enhance it, our overall well-being, and attract great things to us. So what I learned was if I can focus on cellular cleansing and cleansing the lymphatic system of the brain, all of a sudden I have the crown chakra, the pituitary gland, the master gland, I have this back online. And then by electrifying my brain in unison with my body, all of a sudden the cells receive the essential nutrients and minerals necessary for thriving in all aspects of life. And this is including sexual vitality. Once I realized that, I achieved harmony from within. What I did was I added in several ingredients that basically made my brain a supercomputer and a conductor of electrical energy that it was always meant to be. I just didn't know it was going to happen so fast. So I created a patented formula that specifically targets sexual energy enhancement by cleansing the lymphatic system and lymphatic systems of the brain and refuels the brain with the minerals needed to enhance its piezoelectric properties. So what is piezoelectric properties? The word piezoelectricity comes from the Greek word piezo, which means squeeze or press, and electron, which means amber, and is an ancient source of electric charge. So what I did was I incorporated solfeggio sound frequencies based on sacred geometry, biochemistry, soul cytology, and cymatics. And I used all of these things to resonate with specific energies along with alkalizing herbs and 12 mineral cell salts from Dr. Schussler, who is a pioneer in holistic health. I made a supplement designed not only to fill mineral deficiencies, but also to electrically recharge your brain and stimulate sexual energy flow. So you basically have a formula that now you take 3 to 4 drops daily in a serum on your tongue or mix it in water during fasting. And you use this in unison with the rest of the program that I'm going to describe to you. So step number 4 was again, cleansing the lymphatic system and lymphatic system of the brain. The alkalizing herbs do the job of cleansing the lymphatic system, and also the 12 mineral cell salts, they all affect in a positive way the lymphatic system and lymphatic system of the brain and help to recharge your brain and your body and clean you out. All right, tip number 5, reprogramming your subconscious mind. Now this is the thoughts that you basically tell yourself, they shape your reality. The thoughts that you repeat shape your reality. And so what is included in this program is an MP3 player that's preloaded with powerful affirmations to listen to day and night. And why is this important? Because most people focus on the law of attraction. Yeah, I know all about it. But they don't know about the law of vibration. And the law of vibration is actually the law that you're supposed to focus on, because if you don't focus on the law of vibration, you missed the point. You basically missed the point because you didn't understand that everything is vibrating. So the law of attraction is actually a force that is a secondary law. The law of vibration is the primary law. because that vibration is what causes the attraction. Remember, everything in the universe is vibrating. So your thoughts, which are vibrating at a particular frequency, lead to your feelings. And that's the combination of the two that dictate your body's vibration, your thoughts and your feelings. Let's think of it in terms of brain capacity, in terms of glands. Your pineal, third eye, let's say that's the thoughts. And then the feeling place, which is going to be the crown, the pituitary, is the feeling. You have thoughts that are electric, that are sent out. They're not local to you. All thoughts go out of your brain into the screen of space. Anyone can catch up onto them. There's no secrets in this field. So when you understand that, you understand how to control and dictate your thoughts. Then, after that, your feelings, the combination of the two, raises your vibration or lowers your vibration, and therefore, it attracts the people and things to you that are in vibrational match, like attracts like. So, while it's accurate to say that your thoughts become things, it's more precisely accurate to say that your vibration becomes things. Because ultimately, it's your vibration that dictates what you're drawing into your life. So the law of attraction works by the totality of the vibration we send out, not merely by what we say we want. The law of vibration states that everything in the universe is a constant state of movement. So when we refer to these movements as vibration and the speed of rate when something vibrates, that's called its frequency. So the only difference between one object and another is the rate of its vibration. Your body, on the other hand, vibrates at an extremely high rate. And our thoughts, like everything else in the universe, are energy. And this is why you have to control your thoughts. So why is it so important for you to be able to say on repeat what you really want to say? Because if you don't focus on what you really want, all of a sudden you become drifting and the wind takes you wherever you go. You don't go with intention. You just go in reaction. And that changes you, instead of being a creator of your life, to a victim of it. We stay on the creator side because we realize that we are the ones that are in control as long as we are in control of our thought process. So by changing your internal dialogue, you shift your entire frequency and begin manifesting a healthier, more vibrant life. This is why the importance of the MP3 player that's preloaded means you play it all night long. When you go into commune with yourself subconsciously, whenever you're sleeping, whenever your lymphatic system is basically cleaning itself out and reprogramming you overnight, what's happening to you is you're changing yourself in your waking state. This is why this exercise is so powerful. Step number 5. Once you're able to reprogram your subconscious mind based on repetition, all of a sudden, the emotional pain that you had locked inside, the emotions that you had trapped inside, the misperceptions that you had trapped inside, the bad relationships, right? The living in the past, all the things that were affecting you, that were keeping you from moving forward, they all of a sudden get dissolved and washed away. And now you become courageous enough to be happy and to be disliked. Listen, everybody gonna hate you. No matter if you're the cheapest or the most expensive, they still gonna hate you. Some people might love you, some people might hate you. It doesn't matter. You have to let them be. But the issue is that many people live from the outside in. They're people pleasers because they think that they have to live from the outside in because they have to be accepted and because the outside is what dictates their value, which is completely wrong because you dictate your own value. It's you from the start. You dictate your value no matter what. So what you need to do is understand that no matter what you do, everyone that comes to you, everyone that is attracted to you is based upon what you're putting out. So your thoughts affect your physical body. And this is how your emotional feelings and emotional responses, what it does to your pH. It mainly drops it if your vibration is low. If your thoughts are negative, your feelings will then be negative. And all of a sudden, your pH is going to drop. So what does an acidic food diet do to you? It feeds your cells more acidity, and that's your community that makes you whole. So once you're compromised from a cellular level, every part of you is compromised. This is why your solar plexus, which has 12 cranial nerves inside of it, is so important. This is why you don't put toxicity inside your solar plexus. Do not put toxicity inside your gut. Do not put toxins anywhere inside your body, but mainly inside your gut. Don't drink any alcohol. Don't smoke any substances. Because the whole point of this is, once you take those substances in, all of a sudden you're compromising the entire body and the entire brain. Every part of you is going to be affected. When you drink alcohol, immediately your cognitive function begins to waver and it begins to lessen. And if you smoke or do drugs of any kind, all of a sudden your brain capacity and cognitive function also shrinks and it gets smaller. Your body then begins to create mucus hypersecretion, which again is the overproduction of mucus in your body. So once you're compromised from a cellular level, every part of you again is compromised. The overproduction of mucus is what causes diseases inside your body, and your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are consistently on what your thoughts and feelings and emotions are consistently on will be the areas that the mucus will manifest the disease. So if you're constantly thinking about, let's say you're being stubborn, you have too much pride, too much ego, not trying to bend, too much fear, inflexibility, you won't give in to anything, that's the knees. If you have the ability to receive pleasure, there goes the ankles. If you have a lack of joy of meeting experiences in life, there go the bunions in your feet. These are instantly the root chakra areas. You have your hips. If you have fear of going forward in major decisions, nothing to move forward to, it's pulling the pelvis backwards. All of a sudden, you may have wrist pain, movement in knees. You may have shoulder pain, carrying experiences in life joyously. You're making life a burden because of your bad attitude. This is an issue because all of a sudden these pain areas inside your body, you realize you're sending the energy there in a bad way, all because of your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions. So this is how, once you come to terms with this, playing over and over and over again, the things that you really want to manifest inside your life, this is going to help to refocus and reshape your outer world. People just live unintentionally. They don't think about what they're thinking about. And so this is why you have to meditate. Because in order to meditate, you have to be still and become familiar with yourself. That's why it's so powerful and so important for you to meditate. So again, by changing your internal dialogue, you shift your entire frequency and begin manifesting a healthier and more vibrant life. Do not focus on the law of attraction. Focus on the real key, the law of vibration. You don't attract what you want, you only attract what you are in harmony with. So again, we provide you an MP3 player preloaded with powerful affirmations to listen to day and night. You'll have the choice of man's voice, the choice of a woman's voice. So if you're a woman, you want to hear a man, or if you're a woman that wants to hear a woman, or a man wants to hear a man, or a man that wants to hear a woman, either way, you have both options going to you. All right, what we're going to do, the last two steps is going to be step number 6, unlocking your energy through sexual transmutation. And what this does is this unlocks your sexual potency, gives you the ability to have sex, and your orgasmic potency. You have the ability now to receive pleasure from sex. Now, this is the thing I think people have a suppression about the most because of religion and because of how people have been treated in the past because of sexual energy. Now, the phrase I'm speaking of is orgone energy. Where did this phrase come from? This phrase came from a gentleman named Wilhelm Reich, and what Reich coined the phrase back in the 1940s. He coined the phrase because he experimented on subjects that needed healing from self-inflicted diseases. And Reich believed that human sexuality expressed through an orgasm was the ultimate expression of mental and physical well-being, and that to harness the orgasmic power would allow one to gain control of the one true universal life force, or the orgone. He claimed to have discovered that life force in 1939 in New York through experiments on mice. So what he did was he claimed to have seen orgone in the night sky, thanks to a specialized telescope he called the orgonoscope. In this case, it's a blue energy field that surrounds a person. If you think about blue, the energy blue, whenever you turn on the gas stove, you'll see the flame that's the hottest point of the flame is actually blue. So in right perception, orgone is not unlike oxygen in both its fundamentality and intangibility. In orgone loss or suppression, as the case may be, Reichs are the source of mental illness, cancer, and virtually any other manner of disease, meaning suppression was the cause. A person that's suppressing their own sexual energy is causing themselves to lose their own life force. In orgone, he saw the universal cure. So obviously the recent findings in studies connected with quantum physics validate Reich's theory of a unified field. He came up with a unified field as well. But how does this all relate to sexual energy? The answer is simple, it's suppression. Suppression, in his theory, was when we cut ourselves off from expressing our true sexual energy, we lose our life force. And this is because sexual suppression can only be seen through a man or woman's gait as they walk, but it can be felt and energy expressed from their heart or lack thereof. Sexuality and anxiety are functions of the living sexuality and anxiety are functions of the living organism operating in opposite directions. Your psychic health, as it was called over a century ago, depends on your orgastic potency. This is the degree to which one can surrender to and experience the climax of excitation in a natural sexual act. So again, orgastic potency is the degree to which one can surrender to and experience the climax of excitation in a natural sexual act. It's founded upon the healthy character, attitude of the individual's capacity for love. If you do not have the capacity for love, psychic illnesses are the result of a disturbance of your natural ability to love. So, when you don't love yourself enough, you're going to create a psychic illness. This essentially means that in order to cure psychic disturbances, you have got to reestablish the natural capacity for love. And this is dependent on social as well as psychic conditions. So, it's chemical conditions. They must be harmonious, and proper food and adequate water should be present in the body to maintain sexual harmony. This is where you get step number 1 and 2, and the earlier steps that we have in this program, changing your water to negative ORP, changing your food to bioelectric food, and also increasing the capacity for you to ground and move the oxygen throughout your body through grounding. Step number 1. As a child, you're taught, many of us are taught, to suppress our sexuality and curiosity as we grow into adults. And so then as we get into adulthood, we become adults who suppress their sexuality and their curiosity. This leads to a person who cannot, without condition, surrender to love. So a person that cannot, without condition, surrender to love means you do not have unconditional love. You have to have conditions in order to love. This is because the majority of religions teach you that sexuality is not to be expressed or even talked about, as this is looked down upon as something that's bad. And it's not. Now, I say sexuality and curiosity, I'm not talking about in a perverse manner. I'm talking about in a way of sexual freedom and exploration of oneself. So when you think about masturbation practices, they're ancient. They've been around for thousands of years. It's a technique used to increase your energy and raise your vibration, hence the name for sexual toys, vibrators. It's just to raise your sexual energy. Now, it's your duty as a person on this planet to be well and be joyful and to be merry, not to suppress yourself from receiving love and receiving pleasure. And so once you get a full battery charge from sexual activity, however you choose to do it, you explode in the climax of excitation. You explode in a climax of excitation with pleasure, and as you discharge, creating a field of energy around you. This is basically called the orgasm loop. Because when you have intercourse, you and your sexual partner create a field of energy around you, and that's what's called the orgasm loop that raises your vibration and creates in the field. So your suppression of your sexual energy will cause you to block the energy distributed within your own body, leading to disease and discomfort, and most of all, disharmony. This disharmony goes where it takes you away from parasympathetic back to sympathetic, and now you're back, instead of go for repair, you're back in fight or flight. So here's one example of something that you can do. You can pray with your partner. and say your affirmations together. So we provide you and also your partner, if this is a couple, if you're not single, you have a partner, you need to cleanse yourself, and also your partner needs to cleanse themselves at the same time, cellularly. Because if you cleanse yourself and become purified, the person who's not purified is going to not be in harmony. So if you have a partnership, you want to purify yourself at the same time. Now, this is what's going to increase intimacy in your sexual relationship between partners. Sexual relationship and disharmony creates many things, many challenges, many problems in relationships. It even creates divorces in some cases. Whenever you let go of whatever limiting beliefs that you have are holding you back from receiving the infinite love, the energy of the organ, which is everywhere all the time, basically your subconscious mind, is there to comfort you and bring you back to harmony with yourself. So this is how, in this step number 6, most people don't realize sexual energy is one of the most powerful forces for healing and creativity. But when it's suppressed, it creates blockages in the body that lead to disease. So our program, again, helps you to reconnect with your body's natural energy flow through pleasure, imagination, and breath work, allowing you to experience greater vitality and emotional balance. Step number 6, increasing and unlocking your energy through sexual transmutation. Let's keep going. So, how to unlock your energy, flexibility, mobility, and mental clarity. This is going to be step number 7. And step number 7 is how you're going to fully increase all of these things and grow stronger. Now, strength is not about lifting the heaviest weight. It's not about lifting the heaviest weight at all. That's more of an ego lift. It's more of an ego training. It's about creating flow inside of your body. We teach you how to breathe, how to move, and how to align your body to increase flexibility, release stress, and feel stronger than ever. What we do in the Alkalign Lifestyle Institute is we teach you how to train your body based off of a principle called BMLT, Beginning Movement Load Theory. What this theory is and what it does is it's a movement based that keeps you strong and flexible at the same time and keeps you free from the buildup of inflammation and soreness. People don't actually know how to breathe. They can move fast, they can walk fast, they can talk fast, they can train fast. They don't know that by relaxing, they are stronger, they're faster, they speak clearer, more articulately, and they create more flow in their body with a better consumption of oxygen. When you train your body, there's no limit of proper angles for anything to be done. Or on the contrary, forcibly limiting your range of motion to fit a traditional squat or traditional deadlift or shoulder press will weaken you in the overall range of motion than in the position that you work. So people focus so much energy and attention on the middle of their movement. They lose track of their breath because they're lifting such heavy weight externally. So we changed this by the concept of training with your body weight. What we do is we provide you with something great, like a weight vest. And what this weight vest is it attaches to you. So the great thing about this is simple physics. It trains the joints in certain areas using weights attached to your body, like wrist weights, forearm weights, ankle weights, weighted shorts, and weighted vests. So we actually think that people are lifting too much weight. And that's why you see an overemphasis of recovery methods and inventions to solve soreness. Because the trick is to limit the weight and increase the movement based on neural connectivity. You need to connect your brain to how you move. So this is going to train your mind and body to be present at all times. It allows you to trust in the present moment. So when you're training your body, you need to understand that you need to have discipline in terms of your movement, but you also must have discipline of breathing while you're moving. When you move correctly, you unlock your body's natural potential for healing and longevity. And this is how this works. So when you move correctly, you unlock your body's natural potential for healing and longevity. It's not just about building muscle through forcefully lifting resistance training. You must be able to do this and play the long game. You're gonna have progressive overload, but you don't have progressive overload to the point where you're popping supplements, taking creatine, and popping other things, protein shakes, that are gonna get you to a rapid pace, increase your lifting capacity 20 pounds in a week's time. You don't need that. You need to have an understanding of long game. Play the long game. And this is how the beginning movement load theory changes people's minds and also their bodies. So, step number 7, you're going to move correctly. You're going to enhance your flexibility, mobility, and you're going to grow stronger using the BMLT method that we teach you here at the Alkalign Lifestyle Institute. So, at the chakra energy wheels of structure, each step is going to mimic each one of your chakras. So your root, dissolving inflammation, increasing your blood flow by increasing the negative electrons by grounding yourself. Your sacral is going to be cleansing by changing your hydration, your cellular hydration, and purifying your digestive tract through changing your negative RP water. Your solar plexus, this is going to increase your energy and change your mood by eating a biological food diet of mainly raw fruits and vegetables. Your heart, we're going to release happy chemicals into your cells and regulate your blood pressure and heart rhythm by increasing your blood flow in your heart. And this is simply by changing your perspective. Not only are you going to change your perspective based on your repetition of your subconscious mind, but you're changing your heart rhythm based on your movement and based on your cleansing with your herbal formulas. Once you cleanse these systems of your lymphatic system and lymphatic system, all of a sudden you start to increase this feeling of self-love for yourself. And this is how powerful this cleansing process, what it does is the happy chemicals now are released into your bloodstream based on the clearing and purifying of the lymph in your lymph. The throat chakra is going to be step number 5 by reprogramming your subconscious mind with listening to affirmations. The affirmations are what you really want. You're reprogramming your subconscious mind for success, expressing your authentic voice by using the I am affirmations technique. What we're also going to teach you how to do is record your own affirmations so that you can then transform your own voice into a voice of a #1 fan instead of your voice of your #1 critic. Step number 6 is going to be at the third eye. And this is how we use your sexual transmutation of energy and unlocking your orgasmic potency by increasing your sexual potency. This is going to help you with your third eye, with your imagination, with your creation, because we're instantly going to raise your vibration by stopping all of the traumas that you have stored inside and the blockages of energy that you stored inside. Lastly, your crown, which is going to be your feeling place. How you move is a definite marker of how you feel. And if you don't feel good, you don't move very well. So again, strength isn't about lifting the heaviest weight. It's about creating flow inside your body. So teaching you how to breathe, how to move, how to align your body to increase flexibility, release stress, feel stronger than ever is imperative. It is second to none when it comes to allowing pleasure to come into your energy field. And this is how BMLT training is going to affect. So this is how the comparison of each step-by-step process also affects your 7 chakras. Now that you know the 7-step process, the next step is for you to take action. I invite you to join our Quantum Rejuvenation Cellular Detox Program, 90 days, where we guide you through this entire transformation step by step. You will get a personalized detox protocol, a customized awaken and replenish herbal formula, 90-day supply, a bioelectric meal plan, and exclusive community support, and 1 group coaching call per month. Spots are limited, so if you're ready to transform your mind, your body, and your energy, click the link below and let's get started. Thank you for joining me today. I can't wait to see you guys on the inside of this 90-day transformational detox program and witness your transformation. Peace.